Hi, this is Everett's Watercolors. Welcome to my studio. Today I do another demonstration of watercolor painting. Today I'm going to do kind of like a color study, but I know a photograph I'm going to use as a reference. But I really want to get the colors and play with the colors a little bit before maybe I'll do another painting down the road. But today is kind of like a color analysis, a color study, and just a little practice. But I think you should do that before you do a regular painting. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that today. So let me take you over to overhead camera. Here, I'm going to use my watercolor, Stratford watercolor cold press. It's 9 by 12, 140 pound, 9 by 12 inches, 140 pound watercolor paper. I'm going to use this tablet. And that's the scene you can see there, a nice graded wash of sunset, but a beautiful sky. And that's just going to practice getting the colors. And so this is kind of like a color study to get that really nice sunset look and put in the trees and so forth. So it's really kind of an exercise for me to get kind of warmed up and show you how I do that. So, okay, so I'm going to use, let's say this is a 9 by 12 sheet of paper here, watercolor paper. Over here on my palette, I got my standard palette. I'm going to use probably yellow deep here and maybe a little bit of yellow orange and some pyro red. Up here, a cobalt blue for the sky. Then down here, I might in the background trees, I might put a little bit of burnt sienna mixed in a little bit of down here the green. I got hooker's green and green number 2, and maybe some little bit of ultramarine blue up here to darken it up a little bit. And okay, so it's going to be a kind of a quick study, and but let me get started. And I'll use my spray bottle here, a palette in a bottle. Everett's Watercolors palette in a bottle, dot sprayer, and this has just water in it, but I use that also with paint. That's on my website, everettswatercolors.com. Sold exclusively on Everett's Watercolors. Palette in a bottle, dot sprayer. Okay. Now use that to wet the paints down. Give me a little texture on the paper. So it's really a very versatile tool to have. Okay, on my paintbrushes, I've got the 1-inch Holbein flat brush and a 3/4 inch flat brush, and I'm going to use a rigger and probably use a couple other brushes when I get down to the trees and so forth. Those are my standard brushes I'm going to use. Put those aside. Let's see. So I'm going to start out with a large brush, my 1-inch brush here, and what I want to do is kind of wet the paper just a little bit. I get it damp. So for drawing the sky, I like to have a damp, little wet on wet, just to get the wet. I'm going to go on down. I haven't drawn any lines or anything here. I'm just going to use this as a study. Come on down here to the bottom. So I want the paper damp. I don't want it wet, but I want it damp. So get it nice and wet here. Okay, and I may pick up I'm going to use a little paper here, just pick up the excess water. I just want the paper damp. Don't want it soaking wet. All right. Now, first paint, I'm going to start at the top. You know what? I think I better start with a lighter color. So I'm going to start with the yellow. This is yellow deep. Going to be more of the sunset color. And I'm going to start that at the very bottom here. And I'm going to go right here across the top. Get that color in. So that's going to be the color at the bottom of the painting with the trees. Get that well established there, nice and bright. Might come in and get a little more of that color. Now I'm going to pick up a little bit of orange. So this will darken it up just a little bit. That'll be the next layer. I just overlap that layer a little bit. So I'm doing a graded wash. I'm doing upside down here a little bit. Going from yellow to orange. All right, then I'm going to pick up a little bit of pyro red. You know what? I may have to switch over to a little bit of my little bright red. This is opera. I think might be a better choice here with this color going on. Yeah, that matches the photograph a little bit. It's a light red. So I'll get that in there. Kind of overlap it just a little bit. Okay, then at the top I'm going to use I'm keeping it nice and moist, and keeping the colors nice and bright, and making sure they blend together. Okay, now at the very top I'm going to use that cobalt blue. So come up here, pick up that cobalt blue, and go right across the top of that. And that blue will mix in with that red and give me a purple. So I got the graded wash there now, going from blue. I get a little bit darker on that, just a little bit shade darker. Okay, now I'm going to let this dry now. All right, now I'm going to let that dry. That's going to be my sky. And I think what I'll do is get the blow dryer out. And I just kind of trim off the edges here a little bit. Okay. All right, so that's my graded wash. Now I'm going to dry it out with the Ranger craft tool, which is nice and quiet so I can talk over at the same time. So I did a graded wash. I started with yellow deep, and I added a little bit of orange, yellow orange, and I added the red. I changed it to opera to make it a lighter red, and then up to the cobalt blue at the top. So that's kind of the colors I have there. You see from the photograph, I'm trying to match that colors a little bit. So a little bit of color study here. And it's just what you do. You practice your color sketch, practice your painting, and practice the way you're going to paint the final photograph. And sometimes the practice paintings turn out better than the original. So you always want to use your best paints and your best brushes that you have and the best paper, because you never know if you're going to come out with a masterpiece. Let's see, turn that over, get that on the back side a little bit. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead. Now I'm going to put I think what I'll do is I'll put a little foreground here now. I'm going to use start this little yellow mixed in with a little green. So I'm going to have some grass down here in the foreground, but it's going to be dark. It's going to be in shadow because it's a sunset. Let's see what they say here. I got to stop. Okay, I was recording it. I thought I was recording it. It wasn't. But what I did, I mixed up a little bit of green, hooker's green. I mixed and ultramarine blue, a little bit of burnt sienna. Give me a nice dark mix. And I started mixing up down here at the bottom. This simulates the dark green in the foreground here. And I'm just using rough brush strokes. Again, I'm practicing brush strokes, practicing colors. Yeah, get that nice and dark here in the foreground. Again, this color study is just to give me an idea of what colors I would use in a painting, or in this painting, or any other painting I'll be doing like this. So it's so dark now. I'm going to dry that out and use my Ranger craft tool. Dry it off real quick. Okay, so far I've done the sky, the graded sky wash, and then I've done the foreground with the dark green mixture, and then I'm going to put the tree line in. Okay. Make sure that's nice and dry up here on the edge. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to probably use this brush here. And what I'll do is I'll clean up, take out the green. I don't want all that green for the trees. So I'm going to change the color just a little bit. So wipe out the green. Wipe out the green, and I'm going to mix up. That's actually A little bit of burnt sienna because it's the trees in with the sunlight coming over the top. It's going to have a little edge of orange up there up the top, and then come down. It's going to have a darker mix down here. I'll pick up a little bit of ultramarine blue, make a dark brown, and I'll pick up a little bit of hooker's green. Put some. It is a green tree, but they're in shadow, so it's not going to show up that much. A little more of that, maybe a little bit of Payne's gray, and I want nice and dark. All right, so I'm going to come in here now, and I'm going to lay in a horizon line, which is somewhere like in here. I make it a. Now I'm holding my brush on the side to give me a rough edge here at the bottom. Don't want a straight line. I want a kind of a rough edge here at the bottom of the base of these this tree line. So that's completely in shadow down here. So that's dark. It has to be dark. So any dark color, especially adding blue to a color like burnt sienna, any kind of blue mixed in with a green or with a brown will give you a nice dark color at the base there. Okay, now I'm going to come up with that color. I'm going to come up a little bit higher on some of this. So now I'm going to build some a little bit of tree shapes. And these will be irregular right now. Some big, some small. And in the photograph is a little larger tree over here, so I'll make this a little bit bigger on this side. Okay, now I'm going to take my rigger brush, and I'll pick up a little bit of lighter color. Still a brown color, but it's got these are parts of the trees that the sun is shining through, so they're going to have a little bit of lighter color. So now we're practicing the design now, and then this is just all. I'm getting the treetops here. The treetops here along the edge here with the sun behind. So I'm practicing now a little bit of getting an edge on here. Make a nice variety of different shapes. Get in the major shape here, the major shapes. Some smaller ones down here. Letting the sun come through those branches. So here I'm practicing now, getting a little texture here going. Well, I think I'll switch to. I'm going to switch to just an old bristle brush and pick up some of that color. Load the brush up a little bit, and then go in here and do some a little bit of texture. Give a little more definition here of branches, leaves on the edge of the trees. Okay. Now there's one tree over here, interesting, there's one tree on the side over here, and it's got a darker color. I'll get them a darker mixture on my rigger brush. And I want to draw, I'm going to go in here and do some calligraphy here. And down here, I'll put some darker trunks here in some of these trees. Give them a little more definition. Okay. Okay, now I think what I'll do, the last little mark here, move brushes, is go back with that dark mix again. And come in here and bring this middle ground up a little bit higher, the ones that are in shadow. Some of those shapes, some of these low-lying bushes and trees in front, in the middle ground. Okay. And what I think I'll do, go in here now. I'll take my towel and kind of pick up some of that excess paint. Give it a little variety. Just give it a little variety. I don't want to be so dark there. That's just a line. I'm trying to get any lines. Okay. Okay. So there's my reference photograph. There, I got that tree line with the high bushes, and I practiced that here on this one, and I think I got it pretty good. Let's put a mat around that. Let's see what it looks like. And I'm gonna mat this in like this. Bring it up a little bit. Ha. Okay. Well, there's my practice painting of, again, a color study to get the graded wash in the sky, and I get nice sunset with the background lit on the tree line, and a little bit of foreground with just some grass down here in the foreground. So that was really just to test the colors, what brushes I'm going to use, what colors, and what brush strokes I was going to use. So that is really kind of a practice you need to do either before a painting or during the painting to get ready for, say, another painting. So this is just a step one or step two of doing a final painting. Okay, well that takes care of my demonstration today. So let me take you back to my main camera. Okay, main camera's off today too. So let's see if I can get that one started. Activate. Okay. Oh boy, let's see. Here we go. Okay, now we're back live again. Little interrupt with the video today, just to get things organized. But technically, I can handle almost anything if it comes out like that. So I may go back in and make a little edit change here and there. But other than that, that concludes my demonstration for today. And I hope you enjoyed that. Give me a like and a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And let your friends know that I'll be back again next Thursday for another demonstration. If you subscribe to my channel on YouTube, you'll be notified of my next video. And I do another drawing today. It's called Simply Drawing with Everett. You might enjoy seeing that also. So if you subscribe to this channel, You'll be notified of all the videos in the future. I got over 1,000 videos on YouTube. So you can enjoy all my paintings and other demonstrations I have on lots of other techniques. So until then, you all stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.